try not to back over the old cow that's sitting in the lane. I'm sure she would appreciate that. And I'm sure, as you may have seen, Wilson was out here a few days ago with a sickle mower, and he was out cutting down a couple of these fields that were out here because he had been working on a sickle mower for a while. They had it painted up real nice and stuff, so I guess they just decided to use that, try it out and see how it works for first crop down here. We've been doing a little bit of chopping around some of these fields. We finished this one that was up here, and then we initially started this one, then Wilson cut that one, so we started working on the one right next to it. So there are just a couple fields that have hay lying down now that I have to bale up, and I guess the row starts right here. And someone was nice enough to put the pickup down for me, so I wouldn't have to do that. Get the tractor into low 4, that's the speed I usually bale at. We'll turn it on, see if the belts move, and they do. Fantastic. So now I'll put it up to usually around 1600-ish RPM. This is my first time baling this year. Hopefully I'm not very rusty. We want the bales to be as square as we can get them. Dad has a much easier time wrapping the bales when they're square and they have square edges and stuff, rather than being all lopsided, because then they just go on the wrapper arm and they fall on the turntable like they should, because those wrappers were built for good bales, not bad bales. So it always works best when you have a straight bale. I'm not even sure if we've decided yet if we're going to wrap this field or not. The hay is pretty dry, but Dad just told me a little while ago that we might still just wrap it just to protect them. For most of the bale, it's usually pretty easy to get it pretty straight. I can see the top of the bale through the belts until it gets just too big, and then it pops up behind the metal bars across the top where I can't see it anymore. And then I just have to guess as to where the bale needs more hay on which side, and then hopefully I make the right decision and I can produce a good sized bale that's not all crooked and stuff. Alright. Here's the test. Gotta tie it up. Pull it forward to get that string going in the baler. Slowly move that arm back across the width of the bale. Alright, and the string cut, so that's a good sign. I'm gonna back up a little bit. It's usually what I do, so if the bale happens to roll back forward, I can pull ahead a little bit without having to pick up my row. Gotta make sure that door shuts all the way, because sometimes it won't. You'll get something caught in the way. The door looks good and the bale looks good. First one is good. that one's certainly not one of the greatest I've ever done. It might be sitting downhill just a bit, but I think it is a little crooked. A little more crooked than the rest of them. Kinda gotta just clean this out every once in a while, just to make sure nothing gets in the way. If you get too much buildup, wonky stuff does start to happen with the belts, so you never want to get there. There have been times where I've gotten a wad of hay caught in some very weird places down those rollers, and it was a big pain in the butt to get out. Don't want to have to do that again. I'm gonna grab this bale while I'm up here this time, just so if we do end up wrapping them, Dad won't have to drive all the way out here, and even if we don't wrap them, then I won't have to drive back out here for Kubota when we come to pick up the bales. Second last row. I have this row, and then there's just one row right along the edge of this field right there that I have to pick up. And then I will be done with this field. There's a second field up there, but I'm gonna quit for now because right after this I have to go chopping, and then it's milking time and stuff, and then we have to put cows out, so we'll probably leave it till tomorrow. Depending on when they bale it, I might be gone. I might be at work when they do it. So maybe Wilson will be baling, or Dad will be baling, or something like that. So I don't know what's going to happen with that. I guess there's a little bit of hay here that I have to pick up too. So I'll probably just come to the end here and then go back up with the outside broom and pick up anything else on my way back down. Right next to me here is our oats and alfalfa field that we planted, I don't even know exactly how long, probably a month or a few weeks ago. And we finally got some rain and it's starting to pop out of the ground now. so we thank the Lord for that. And as always, while I bale or try to do just about anything else during the summer, I'm playing games with the air conditioner. Because sometimes it blows nice cold air, and a lot of the time it doesn't. So I have to try to fool it into blowing cold air. Usually it's just when it starts getting warmer again, I just shut the AC off for a little while and then turn it back on. And then it'll usually blow cold for a little while yet at least. It's an ongoing struggle. Alrighty, right here is the last little bit of hay from this field. And I think because we still have that second field to do, I'm not gonna tie this bale early. I'm just gonna leave it in the baler. But I am going to unhook the baler and just leave it here for now when I finish, because Dad needs the tractor and obviously I need to go do chopping and chores and stuff. So we'll put it back into high one. And then I'll just run the baler up here, probably by the grain truck in the wrapper, and just park it there somewhere. Then grab the 56 from Wilson, and then George and I are gonna go chopping. And I would assume tomorrow we're gonna bale up that field over there. Usually this pin needs some encouragement getting it out of its socket. It's much easier to get it out before I put the jack down and have the rest of the weight of the baler pulling on it. Notice how the front of the hitch pulled back as soon as I got the jack up on the ground. So had I put the jack up first, I would have had that much more weight pulling on the pin, which would have made it a lot more difficult to come out than it already was. Alright, it is about 3 o'clock in the afternoon the next day, June the 2nd, and I'm wandering my way over to the next field. I've got the baler down behind me, and I'm gonna finish the rest of this hay that Wilson cut a few days ago. Try not to drive over stuff that's poking up in the grass. There's a drag there, the spikes pointed upward. Thankfully I haven't driven over it yet, but that's probably not a good place to park it. Okay, we got a little, let's see, just over size 3 bale in the baler. I make the bales to about size 4, and just to that first line, what used to be a line right after 4, they had 2 markers in between each number that have since fallen off. But I make it to about 4 and then to that first line for bale size. This is the first bale from this field. It's finishing up what I had just started to make yesterday at the end of the field. It took a little while because this row is from the outside round, so it wasn't as wide a row and it had nothing raked into it. It was just this sole row just turned over a couple of times. Well, looks like I plugged it. Yeah, we got way too much hay building up in here. Let's see what I can do. Alright, looks like that did the trick. I was kidding, of course, it actually did. Take two. Alright, looks like I think. Oh my goodness. Spoke too soon. What in the world is going on? Well, I can't get the baler to stop plugging. It's probably because of the long, dry, thin, fine grass that we have up here. I'm trying to start a bale and it won't put it into the right spot. It keeps getting shoved upwards instead of in through the belts and pushing the belts up to make a bale. So we're gonna try to bale it sometime when there's more moisture, maybe earlier in the morning when there's dew on it or something, I'm not sure. Alright, it's about 5:30 the next morning. I guess we finally got it unplugged and now it seems to be working fine. So that's great. We're doing it early today because there's still some dew on the ground that helps the grass have more moisture. And it seems to be working. Alright, I'm on my last row. I just dumped a bale, so I highly doubt that I'll get a full bale from the rest of this field because the row is quite short. It's just around this corner, just a little bit that way. Those piles of stuff yesterday that I was pulling out. Just a little tiny row right there that I'm gonna pick up and then I will be done. And I have to save a little bit of the row so I can get this string going into the baler. Alright, bale the rest of that up. Then tie this bale very quickly because it's a much smaller bale, so I have less of a circumference to cover with the string, and it rotates a lot faster. I'll get the string wrapped around the bale much quicker. So if I tie it at normal speed, I'll get way too much string on the bale, and it'll be way overkill for what the bale needs to have it held together. All done. Let me count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I can see 11 from where I sit, plus this little one in the baler. And then over on that field we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So now I'm just gonna drive this home and I'll dump the bale somewhere, probably out in the yard somewhere, so somebody can use it for heifers if they want. Maybe they'll bring it in the barn, I'm not sure. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.